friends, and welcome to the Separated at Birth podcast with your hosts, Katie Martin and Karen Burke-Brown, the podcast where we find alignment in the most unlikely places, proving that lightning can strike anywhere at any time, weaving together a world of middle-age empowerment as single moms, businesswomen, and creatives, finding alignment navigating relationships after divorce, raising kids, building businesses in the creative space, and doing the hard work of unearthing our very best selves in the process and having a lot of mother effing opinions about it. So let's go. We're so stoked to have you here. Let's get into the episode. Hey guys, welcome to the Separated at Birth podcast, the podcast where anything and everything is possible in terms of topics, and we've got a juicy one for you today. This is the podcast where two girls that were from opposite sides of the country happened to meet because of an algorithm and found out that we were literally separated at birth and we're like the same person. So I want to welcome my co-host and bestie for the restie, Karen Burke-Brown. I'm Katie Martin, and we're so stoked to have you guys listening along today. We're going to be talking about makeup and the latest crazes in the no makeup game, specifically older celebrities that are in their 50s showing up to Paris Fashion Week, or I think it was London Fashion Week as well, some kind of red carpet, rocking a no makeup. And when I say no makeup, I mean like abso-friggin-lutely not a stitch of makeup. And also I have to say that their hair was very unkempt, like real unkempt, like thrown into one of those like messy things with all the, I mean, it looked like she was like, oh, I'm going to go walk my dogs, or I'm going to go clean my house, and this is how I walk out. And she's wearing like Dior or whatever she was wearing, and was there
and we're referencing Pamela Anderson.
Yeah, we're going to get to it. And she's great. Like there's nothing, I have no beef with her one way or the other. Like, I feel like she's had an incredible career. She had the body that we all wanted. Like, you know, she was CJ. She was the hottie on the beach. You know, every man out there wanted to be saved by her in the ocean, and every girl wanted to be her. So no love loss at all. I just have to scratch my head as a 40-something-year-old woman and say, what is the statement here? And I get the liberation of just being yourself. Like, truly, I do. I think when you feel that sense of being comfortable in your own skin and you could just give a shit what people think, that is liberating. And I applaud her for that. But in no way did I feel like her doing that. When she was asked about why she did it, she said, I want the clothes to be this thing that gets the moment. I don't want my face or my makeup. Yeah. I want the clothes to be featured. I'm here to enjoy this fashion week and to celebrate these designers and to showcase the clothes. She knew full well that her face was going to get more attention because of doing that than, I mean, it made headlines. Nobody gave a shit what show she was going to. Nobody asked what she was wearing or who she was there to represent or support. It was all about her face. And she knew that. It was a stunt, in my opinion.
I agree. And you know, I can only speak to my own opinion and what I see and my instant reaction, which was it looked lazy to me. And I just personally, I have a thing about, you don't have to put on the dog every time, but you know, you do keep the best things around so that when you do get dressed to go out, you still look put together, whether you tried necessarily or not.
You know who I think does this really well, actually, is Sarah Jessica Parker.
Yep.
She'll go to lunch in New York.
Her style is,
because she'll still like slick back her hair into a nice tight bun. She'll still have nice clothes on. Her skin looks in good, you know what I mean? She looks like she's caring for herself. When she was asked about it, she was like, what am I supposed to do? Just stop aging? Like, there's nothing I can do about it, people. I know that you want me to be Sex in the City from long ago, but I was that girl then, and I'm this girl now. And like, I just think that's a much more appropriate response. And I agree with you that Pamela showing up that way, it seemed so lazy. It was literally like, I'm throwing two middle fingers up at everybody. Come at me with your comments. Please do. It was a provocation.
Yeah. And to me, not only lazy, again, love everybody, like do you kind of thing.
Yes,
but
absolutely. I'm not here to hate on anyone. It just,
and I always have one, but it just struck me as lazy, especially having those beautiful clothes. So to me, it had the opposite effect of, like you said, it wasn't about the clothes any longer. It was how you didn't match the clothes. And
I'm not buying the story. That's where I have a problem.
Well, kind of like when you leave the house, your kids, you're a reflection of your parents. You need to look somewhat put together. You're not going to walk out with ratty clothes or dirty, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. To me, it's a poor reflection on the clothing And so kind of like if you go for an evening out, you should have evening hair. That's just my opinion. You shouldn't wear your hair the same way you wear it every day. The way your gown is, or if you're wearing, tuxedo, it's a little different for men, but maybe you have a little bit more gel. It speaks to the full look. So for her to wear this floppy hat, no makeup, like again, you can do a no makeup look, or it's not about not aging. It's about, I think, the appropriate look from head to toe. And I hesitate to kind of go deeper, even though I think that's what we're doing. I don't want it to come off as me sounding bitchy, because it's not. I applaud people, like, this is what you got, work with what you have. But it just was like, really? You're not even going to fill in your brows? You're a beautiful woman. We know you're aging, but it's okay to wear this beautiful gown and put on some goddamn lipstick, because it's about the full thing. It takes away from the clothing. I think if she
wanted to make a statement about her age and showing up, in this era of her life. And, she also did mention in the story that I read that her longtime makeup artist had passed away, and that it was sort of this, she's irreplaceable, which if it's an homage to that gal, then I think that's lovely. But it's almost like,
but she's been showing up without makeup for months and years at this point, where she's just like, hey, I'm happy to be with, just be me. And wasn't it Vogue that did a what's in your handbag just like 2 years ago or something on her? And of course she had underwear and, she had different makeup products and stuff, but she's not using them. Again, it sounds, I don't know. I just don't want it to sound like I have being no judgy.
Problem. Yeah, I have no problem at all with a woman showing up as she was. Like Alicia Keys went through that stage too. She was hosting the VMAs or hosting something, or the Grammys, and she was like, I just don't want to wear any makeup. She had young daughters at the time. She's like, I just feel like there's such a over glamorization of being a celebrity in a Hollywood, and you have to sit in the makeup chair for hours on end. And I get that we have these extremes. We have like the extreme, and I think of characterizations are always unfair, but I think when we think of like the ultimate, the one extreme is probably like the Kardashians are the easiest to kind of point your finger at, even though they're all lovely and beautiful. They have every person that could be doing a manicure, a facial, or whatever at their disposal. They'll come to their house in the middle of the night to give them, whatever it is that they need, a brow wax at 10 p.m. on a Thursday, because they may have an appearance. So they have access and they have funding and they have, all of that right at their fingertips, and they exercise that. And they've made a fortune, and that's beautiful. And that's, good for them. I'm a big fan. I actually love Kim Kardashian. I think she's an absolute genius. I love her underwear. Like, I think Skims are incredible. Like, I honestly, I think that she is kicking ass and has been for a long time. So, and I think she's really
Here's
smart.
the thing,
but
you bring up a great point, because with now this new Kylie stuff that's out, we talked about her new makeup. It's this no makeup look. But so damned if you do, damned if you don't. You can't have it both ways. Here she comes out with a very bare face. She obviously has makeup on. She's obviously done some work, but maybe it's more tastefully done now because it's not as obviously overfilled and things like that. But you have a Pamela Anderson who's like, fuck everybody. I'm just going to show up the way I woke up.
Right. And then we have like the other extreme,
which she's still getting hate. Well, she looks like a 40-year-old woman. And first of all,
it's like, where do we land?
She looks beautiful. Right. It's like, you cannot please everyone. So like the Pamela Anderson, she's just like, screw you all. I'm going to do me. I'm going to do what I want. Like, I get that. I just I would never leave I won't even leave the house like that, let alone show up at a gala event, or I am there let's unpack as why. Special guest of someone.
If you were going to leave the house, would it leave you feeling how? Would it leave you feeling insecure? Would it leave you feeling like you didn't have a level of self-respect? Like, what would be the feelings that you would attach to when you say, I would never leave the house without putting myself together a little bit, let alone to go to a red carpet event? Because why? Like, if you did, how would you feel?
I think it's all of the above. It's self-respect. It's, where did I get this beautiful piece of clothing? it looks unfinished. And I just have a deep-seated thing about not being finished. You finish a sentence, you
I
answer a
feel
phone
like if
call,
Dior was going to give me a
finished.
$3,000 outfit and invite me to sit front row at their fashion week, I would want to put my best foot forward and feature their beautiful clothes as best as I possibly could to flatter the brand and to say thank you. Because
don't get me wrong,
she what she did, and I think
but
that
it wasn't about the clothes, it's about her.
That's right. And so that is where I have the problem. I give zero fucks about her showing up with no makeup. Like, fine, do your thing, babe. I feel like everybody deserves to be an individual. Like, if that is what floats your boat and rocks your world, to show up with no makeup, do it. Absolutely do it. But to pretend that it wasn't a provocation, to make it about her, she's saying, I wanted to make this about the clothes. And that is not at all what she knew was going to happen. She made it about her. And that for me is the problem. It's the don't say that it's going to be this one thing and then it's truly another. I just
but
don't
if
know.
You think about,
do you think that Dior, I say it's Dior, but I don't know if it was Dior, but so I don't want to pull them into this. If that's not the show she was invited to, I don't want to, I'm just like grabbing a name out of thin air. I mean, I wonder if they knew in advance that she was going to show up like that.
I doubt it. I doubt it. And
yeah,
but I think
and what they would have to say about it, you know?
And if they thought, well, that's not what we expected, but at the same time,
any press is good press.
Right. Think about her through the ages, where there's this, you know, as we were growing up, I mean, it was a massive thing. There was a sex tape, obviously, which supposedly was, you know, stolen from them. That was not something that they planned on putting out there. She had no ownership of that. Other parties made money on that. And she got, you know, they got nothing. But there was just this overwhelming fascination with her and anything that she touched and that kind of thing. So, but she would make it seem like it's just me. I don't know why everyone's so obsessed, yet her, you know, tits and ass are hanging out everywhere she goes. So it's, on the one hand, she's just like, well, this is just me and this is just how I dress. Yet
maybe she that's has just lip the philosophy of
she
who
has
she
breast
is.
augmentation.
Right. I am teeing myself up as this sex kitten, you know, and then wondering why people are looking. It's like, she needs a little Dolly Parton, I think, who's like, yeah, I have a giant rack. Look all you want. You know what I mean? Like, don't scratch your head and wonder, what is all the attention that you're getting coming from when you're intentionally, you know, building your brand on
you're putting it on like, what, me?
Yeah,
what?
I don't know.
And so irritating. It may have been a perfect storm, because
I think that if you're going to do anything, you got to own it. If you're going to do it, just own it.
Right.
That's where I land with it.
I think
so. If you're going to go no makeup,
period of time where she was,
own it in a way that makes sense for the public, because kind of skirting around, and it's just like, it's like people that get in trouble and want to back away, and like we'll put this out there. Like when Bill Clinton had his thing with Monica Lewinsky, and we all knew he was guilty as shit, and he denied it, blah, blah, blah. It is worse for you to not own your mess than to own your mess. Martha Stewart owned her mess. Love that woman, because she's like, yep, totally did. I'll go to jail and I'm going to come back out and I'm going to carry on my relationship with Snoop and build my brand and blah, blah, blah. And I fucked up, and that's all there is to it. Like, part of me is like, we need transparency. I think that's where I got uncomfortable with the story, is not that I can't champion a woman going barefaced at a red carpet event. Not that I can't. It's the incongruent. It's the lack of transparency about what you're doing. Like, you know, you're a public figure.
Yep, this is what I'm doing.
Yes. Like, you know what? If you really want to evoke good change in people, then be honest. Like,
no one's perfect, but they want to. There's this level of untouchability, and I've never had plastic surgery. I've never had. I'm like Martha Stewart's even going through that right now. Like, I get a lot of facials. I'm like, come on now.
Yeah. Stop.
Come on now. We know you've had a lift. You've had all the things.
Oh, yeah.
And just say, thank goodness that I could do this, or I have these great doctors that can help me.
Yeah.
But it's the illusion. They want to, I don't know, appear like, oh, just good genetics. I'm like, honey, your neck looks better than
all
mine
the
and you're 80.
taboo-ness about things, right? Like I don't want to
so.
ever shame anybody for some dumb taboo topic like tattooing. You're either a tattoo person or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Either same thing with injectables. Like you're either on team Botox or you're not. And don't, either side, there's no winning and shaming whether you do or you don't. It's just, okay, that's for you and that's not for me, period. That's it.
You do have pockets of women, especially, who are like, oh yeah, I get this every 3 months, or I've tried this, who are very open and honest because they're like, hey, I'm on this journey and let me tell you what worked for me. And then especially on social, and you will see in the comments,
I get Botox every 3 months.
I
burn through that shit all.
Genetics.
I wish I could get it more often because of all the working out. I burn through that shit so fast. But yeah.
You're and can I have a home health?
Oh yeah. Some people will be like, you have no idea putting all those neurotoxins in your face, what that's going to do to you in 30, 40 years. I hope I make it that long.
Right.
And I just like, life's too short. I could be gone tomorrow. I want to, and I guess for me, those things are part of it is being in the beauty industry. I'm curious about a lot of these treatments, right? I'm like, oh, what is PRP? Sure. What is getting a snail mucin facial? What is that? Like, what is getting a pedicure in Korea where they like put fish in the water and they eat all the calluses off? Like there's some bizarre shit out there. So part of me is just curious about those things so that I can relay what my experience has been. And I've had some good experiences and some bad experiences with injectables. And I would be happy to talk about those on another episode if you want, but I have no regret. I am grateful that I started doing that with moderation, and just being very careful with who I selected to be an injector. And, it's just.
And I think that's part of it too, is who do you trust? And knowing that, okay, here's something that we know what it's made from. We know it's botulism. We're not going into it thinking, okay, there's always side effects that you could die or you could have paralysis or whatever, versus drinking from a Stanley cup that has lead in it that one says, by the way, there's lead in this.
I read that.
Don't tell me it's healthy or don't tell me it's clean, when really I'm like, wait, what? It's the bait and switch for me. If I know that it's botulism and I'm injecting it into my 11s, then I'm like, okay, I know what this is, versus, hey, this organically grown blueberry is super delicious. When you find out, oh, well, this organic is different than this organic. It's like, come on.
I think we know what I'm saying? Like, let me know narrative out there and twist it to fit our position, right? This is what politics is. You take any soundbite narrative and you can manipulate it to prove a point, whatever that point may be. And I think, you're exactly right. It's like, everything's going to kill you. I read that story about the Stanley Cups and I'm like, okay, I'm literally taking my tea and I just read it. I put my phone down, which emits an electromagnetic charge on my face all day. Right. And then I put my hot tea in the microwave and I zapped it and I'm standing right in front of the microwave and I'm thinking, is the lead that's in that Stanley Cup really doing more harm than me standing here with my phone on my face and standing in front of the microwave? Like, okay.
I mean, everything has a disclaimer on it. Even your brand new car has a sticker saying, the materials in here are emitting chemicals. You're not supposed to sit in a hot car with the windows up because like the sun bakes the like the formaldehyde and the stuff that they basically put into fabrics to keep the bugs off. And
oh my God.
So same thing with a new house. It's like, oh, it smells like new house, new paint. Oh, you're not supposed to paint when you're pregnant. You're not supposed to eat tuna. I'm like, come on.
I know. So anyhow, I think
you gotta pick and choose.
the idea here with our tirade when it comes to makeup or no makeup, let's just talk a little bit about, I'm in the makeup business. Saint has been amazing to me. It's been amazing to my family. It's been amazing sharing it with women and helping them have like a very quick morning, getting them out the door in a very short time frame. It's affordable. Like for all those reasons, it fit for me. And then being able to offer it to women as a means of income to effectively change their lives if they wanted it to, that's
Sure.
also beautiful. However, I also look at the TikTokification of makeup, the industry, the teens at Sephora and the luxury skincare that they feel that they need at this point because of social
Mm-hmm.
media. I watch my own daughter go through, having to kind of keep up with the Joneses
Yeah,
when it comes
same.
to having all the things. And I think, this is my business. This is my livelihood. I'm a single mom and I have to take that seriously. So, when makeup makes headlines, whether it's Pam Anderson showing up makeup free at an awards thing or, Kylie in her new foundation launch, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
is, like I pay attention just because this is how I earn my living. And I don't know. On the one hand, I think that makeup is like a cockroach of an industry and it'll survive like a nuclear holocaust. Makeup will always be something that the world has. I mean, you look back to like the Cleopatra days and makeup was still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Makeup was the thing that royalty used to signify that they had affluence. They would make their own rouges and things from crushed up rose petals and, organic materials. And that was the early makeup. But I also think
And
so,
bugs.
and bugs, whatever, right, whatever it was. And so I think that it will last. I'm not saying makeup's going to go run dry in any way or that Sephora is going to go bankrupt. I don't think that. But I think when you beat something to death, I think
Yeah.
there's going to come a day when people are like, I cannot watch one more fucking makeup tutorial or I'm going to claw my eyes out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about that because that is kind of how I make my living. And I just wonder if I can sense that the exhaustiveness of what this has been, it's almost like the trend has just gone so much and that it's going to bottom out. Like as far as trending makeup, espresso makeup and cold girl makeup and strawberry fucking milk makeup. And like, I mean, are we serious? Like now it's mob wife makeup is the latest trend.
I was just gonna say that.
I
Now we're into
know.
mob life.
I
Like,
just
what?
feel like where I want to be part of the narrative that lasts. And I think the narrative that lasts is the one that is accessible. And I hate to say it, but I really feel like Saint is going to stay exactly positioned to catch all those people who want it fast. They want it affordable. They want no fuss, no muss. They want to get out the door in 5 minutes. Like they don't have time to be sitting around, messing around with makeup. Makeup is a part of our society. It's part of building our confidence when we walk out the door. It should not be owning us. It shouldn't be owning our lives.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be
Well, and I think
having our kids bankrupt themselves at Sephora.
when they don't even need makeup, for crying out
They
loud.
don't.
Come
They
on,
have
like,
these little angel faces, for goodness
perfect
sake.
skin. I'm like, don't touch it yet.
Ugh,
Just don't let anything happen to
that
it
was
yet.
such a
But I think
tirade.
there's multiple things there because we're living longer than we ever have. So aging
Sweating.
skin is different. And how do we reconcile that? How do we go out into the workforce as 70-year-old women? Because I will be working when I'm 70. And so how can I still put my best face forward? I'm not competing with anyone, but how can I still show up and look professional, look put together? And so I think those makeup companies obviously will continue to be around, but we need to set an example. I do that, but for my daughter. And I think like you do, it's, hey, we wear as little as possible based on the needs of the day. And my business has always been, you look great, you feel even better. So, but how you present yourself to the world tells the world how you should be treated. So I'm asking you to treat me a certain way by the way I show up. And so, judgmental or not, if I show up in Daisy Dukes and a tank top, if someone gives me a whistle, I mean, I might not be mad if someone gave me a whistle, but if they gave me a whistle at my age, I'd be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. But I can't get pissed at you if you give me a whistle. If I show up in a gown and I'm all put together, I'm like, okay, like I'm excited. It's part of the getting ready process. So I think you need to show up, you put yourself together. Some days require more shellac than others, But I'll be damned if I leave the house without mascara or lipstick. And short hair, I feel like sometimes I get called sir. And so I'm like,
same.
Let me tits out. I'm I'm a mom.
Yeah, I have to show up with the makeup on because of the big man muscles, biceps, and short hair.
We know there's that. People have, when we went out, I think neither one of us had makeup on. Baseball hats, sweats. Yeah. Oh, was that your girlfriend? I was like,
yeah. Two short pixie-haired girls, one with jacked muscles and no makeup on.
Yeah, I'm like, but we were hot, a couple. Isn't she? I mean, she totally would be my girl.
Which is like so dumb. I mean, I love gay people, so I wasn't offended. I'm like, yeah, she's my girlfriend. She's sleeping in my bed tonight.
We're like,
true,
right. Which is actually true.
Which is true.
Not the girlfriend bar.
We co-sleep when we stay at each other's houses, which is fine.
We do.
It's not weird.
We like each other's beds.
Yeah.
It's not.
And you know what we do? Just for inquiring minds, we lay in bed with our old lady glasses on. We send each other memes, even though we're 2 feet away from each other.
We're like, ha 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 ha.
I know. It's so dumb.
It's kind of lame. The best. We think it's funny, which is where the podcast idea was born. Anyway, We're like, we need to just do a podcast. Well, we think we're funny. That's all that matters.
The last word, I don't know, on the whole makeup, and maybe it doesn't need to be the last word, but I also think that there's a few ways to shift the prism on makeup and what it is. One way is, it's just a necessary part of me feeling my best when I leave the house. It's just a part of it's as routine as brushing my teeth and putting on my shoes. I just do it, and it's just part of the getting ready process. And I know I wouldn't leave the house without my shoes. I'm not going to leave the house without my makeup on. That's just the way it is, right? It's part of the fiber of your
like a bra
routine, right? So if that's the case, and that's the prism and the angle that we're going from, then you want it to be not a pain in the ass, right? So what can we do to make it accessible, affordable, easy, blah, 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 so that it's part of the routine, but you're looking for a hack. You need it to be as painless as possible on your day, not an intrusive piece of your life. Other way you can shift it, and this is, I dance in this perspective quite often, which is that I love makeup because I'm a creative, and I find that it is an expression of my creativity. So would I be I on the one hand just sounded like I was vilifying espresso girl makeup and blueberry girl makeup and blah, 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 but I tried all of those things, not because I was trying to perpetuate a trend. I was just curious. And I think for me, having something that's a creative expression, like I love watching red carpet moments and seeing these very, very skilled makeup artists, and they are artists, right? It's like looking at anybody else that has a creative artistic medium. That's just, and I think, wow, what a canvas that you get to work on, which is a human face. Right. That is amazing. Like some people tattoo. I find that to be fascinating and amazing, that people would have the confidence to draw permanently on someone's body. Like what a canvas, what an honor to mark someone for life. Like I just have reverence for people that can do that. But at the same time, so I look at it from that perspective, and that I turn my prism, another dial, and can see the makeup world in that way. And I celebrate all the makeup artists out there that use that just as a way of flexing their creative muscle and creating and experimenting and being curious and learning about how products perform and behave on skin. And I think what I'm saying is that if our bell curve of the makeup industry goes through the washing machine of TikTok and comes out the other end, what are we going to be left with? And I think that the large part of the population that lives in the real world, that doesn't have a Kardashian lifestyle where people are coming to their home at 10 p.m., are going to land in the, how much do I need to look and feel my best and no more? That's really where it's going to be. So I think this minimalism, makeup for minimalists, is really, I think, the sweet spot of where it's all going to land.
No, I agree, because I think there has to just be a happy medium, and that's how we show our daughters, how we show up for our daughters. And it's, hey, this is what's realistic, what's not realistic. And hey, what, you're looking at this TikTok video, they're using a filter. So not only is it not realistic for you, it's not even realistic for them.
It's not honest. It's not an honest portrayal of the products or what their effectiveness is. Right. And I guess I just look at it like,
got to take a little bit and continue guiding them.
If we predict that minimalist makeup enough to get you out the door and no more, so that it's not an invasive part of your life, that would be something that I would love to see Pamela Anderson show up and say, I needed the bare minimum. I'm wearing a little bit of bronzer and some mascara and a little bit of lip balm, and I feel great. I feel put together and polished.
I think she can do that. I think she had a version of that even on her
it just felt purposefully haggard. It was like, I'm going for like I just cut the grass. Yes. And I need a cold beer.
I don't agree. I just don't.
And I think that was evidence with how her hair was. It was all of it. It was like, oh my God,
you can still do your hair.
Incredible outfit on. She had one of those low ponytails that was like almost so loose it was going to fall out, and it just had the loop and like the hair hanging out the end. And I was like,
and was it your hairdresser dyed too? Like, I don't want to sound rude, but so does that tell me nothing about how to care for yourself?
Let's do like we're literally I barely brushed my teeth. You know what I mean? That's the level.
Right. I just didn't like it at all, versus the Kylie Kardashian moment or Kylie Jenner moment where she has this no makeup look and people bashed her for that. And she looked amazing.
Yeah, she
this
does
beautiful
look amazing.
Dress. Her hair looked lovely, and like she looked like she was 18, as she should, because she's still very young. But people are like, she looks like a 40-year-old woman. I'm like, so wait, is that bad to look like a 40-year-old woman? Or are you saying that because she's actually young, or is being 40 bad? Like,
here's the other thing. You have a daughter, I have a daughter, and maybe this is, what we land our plane with. And I think that the makeup industry and us as parents have a responsibility to teach girls about makeup and what age appropriate makeup looks like for a 13-year-old. And so I think that also that red carpet moment by Pam was a little bit of a, you don't get any. Once you reach that age, it's like, you know what I'm saying? It almost sent the message to like, oh, this is what age appropriate makeup is. It's barely anything for a 13-year-old. And then it's like, once you're over the hill,
zero,
it's zero again,
I think I plan to continue coloring my hair. Maybe when I get to Pamela Anderson's age, I will say, screw everybody. I'm done. But she still got her implants in, right? So it's like, so we're good with that.
I follow quite a few Silver Sister Instagram accounts who have beautiful, beautiful hair because they've just embraced going gray. I don't think I'm there yet. I will be at some point. I'm just not there. I personally am not there yet, but I love following them. And I think the way that
they rock it.
Right. And I think that they still care about their appearance. They still style their hair. But they're embracing their age and they're embracing, you know what I mean? So to me, I guess that just lands on me so much better than this moment with Pam. I don't know. I hate feeling ugly about anybody. But that was like,
no, and right. I don't want it to sound bitchy. I don't want it to sound like judgy.
I love women.
I would not do that.
Expressing themselves. I don't want to, I don't want to use this podcast as a platform to ever hate on anyone.
Ragging on people.
I just want to make sense of it. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to make sense of it. And it didn't make sense to me. Yeah, it didn't make sense.
Not in any way. I just wouldn't encourage that.
I think that, a week ago, and I know we're picking on Kylie too, but like she just launched a new foundation, and the headline was Kylie rocks no makeup to launch her new foundation. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense either. What are we doing? Are we
that was written by a
glamorizing
bot, probably.
Right. AI certainly messed that one up because it was like the whole TikTok was about the launch of her foundation, and it's just her starting with no makeup and putting her, but they clickbaited people into saying, oh my gosh, what does Kylie look like with no makeup? And so that was the attention grabber, but really it was just to sell her foundation. So it's not about no makeup, it's about makeup.
Right. She was, the video, she's putting makeup on, but she was using a filter.
Yeah.
So like, thank you for the no makeup look, but you're still using a filter, which Kim does the same thing where she'll do makeup videos and then you see it move a little bit where it's either like the beauty filter where it changes the structure of your face.
Yeah.
Come on. It's not just
I always have enormous lips. I have Karen Burke Brown lips if I try a filter out. And I can't, I just feel like not myself. So I don't use them, but that's again, teach their own. No. Filter, no filter.
I get you. I'm with you.
All right, it's listeners, a lot. It's a what lot do you think about these things? I'm curious what you guys think. How, if you saw these stories, how they landed with you, did they give you the ick? I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm a pretty eternally positive person, and so are you, Karen. So it's tough for us to kind of like unpack this, but we just felt like
saying I don't want anyone to think I'm bitching at people, or I just it just hit
didn't
me where I'm
land
like,
right.
No.
Yeah.
I know what you're trying to do, but that's not the way to do it. It just
Yeah. Well,
same.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the podcast. We're going to get nitty gritty on a few other juicy topics. So we hope you'll stay with us and have the best week, and we'll see you next time.